Welcome, Lee County Superintendent Mike Howard, members of the Lee County Board of Education, faculty and staff, family and friends. Please pray in your religion as I pray in mine. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us together today for the graduation ceremony of the class of 2026. We thank you for giving us the ambition and determination that led us to this next step. We are grateful for the support of friends and family throughout our high school years. Please continue to guide us through every aspect of our lives, no matter the difficulty. Allow us to prosper in our studies or careers, and let peace surround us. We ask you to protect all graduates, staff, and guests as we travel to our homes tonight. We love you and we praise you for all the opportunities that brought us here. In the Lord's name I pray, amen. Please be seated.
Graduates, families, and honored guests, good afternoon and welcome to the Class of 2026 graduation ceremony. Standing here this afternoon, looking out at this incredible group of young adults, I am filled with an overwhelming sense of pride. Graduates, today is a monumental milestone, a celebration of your hard work, your resilience, and the late nights that brought you to this very moment. You didn't just make it to the finish line, you earned every step of the way. To the parents, families, and mentors in the audience, thank you. This achievement belongs to you as well. Your unwavering support, patience, and love have been the foundation upon which these graduates have built their success. Class of 2026, as you prepare to cross this stage and step into the next chapter of your lives, remember the lessons you learned here. Carry forward your curiosity, your kindness, and your determination. The world is waiting for your unique talents, and I have no doubt you will make it a better place. Thank you all for being here to witness and celebrate this unforgettable moment. This year we've added something new to graduation. The best part about Smith Station is the students we have walking our hallways. That includes the class of 2026, those that will be walking the halls next year, and the alumni that laid the path for each of you. Today we are joined by one of those. Our guest speaker began her career with Aflac in the mid-1980s as a senior in high school, working part-time at the company's headquarters in Columbus, Georgia, while attending Chattahoochee Valley Community College. After moving to Virginia to attend Liberty University, she worked for the trade association GAMA, rising to the role of secretary to be their head of government affairs. She rejoined Aflac in 2000 as the company's head of office and lead strategist and lobbyist for the federal relations team in Washington, D.C. Today, she serves as the senior advisor to the president of Aflac, where she represents the company in legislative and regulatory matters before the federal government. She provides strategic policy direction, assists in coordinating federal affairs initiatives, and serves as a trusted ambassador for the company's interest in Washington, D.C. Throughout her career, she has been actively involved in presidential politics and has served as an agent in the campaigns for George W. Bush, Mitt Romney, John McCain, and Donald Trump. A passionate advocate for mentorship and the leadership development, she serves on the executive committee for the advisory board of the Blackburn Institute, the premier leadership institute at the University of Alabama, where she mentors students in both Blackburn program and the Washington, D.C. extern program for the University of Alabama Law School. She's married to Mike House. Together they enjoy gardening, traveling, entertaining friends and family, especially her 95-year-old mother who still lives in Smith Station. She also enjoys spending time with her 3 children, 4 grandchildren, and her Alabama nieces and nephews. From the graduating class of 1985, please help us welcome Miss Gina Rigby House.
Thank you, Principal Johnson. Good evening, graduates, parents, faculty, administrators, and my Smith Station family. Standing here tonight is an honor, but it's more than that, it's a homecoming. I sat right where you are in 1985, 41 years ago. I know it seems like a lifetime. As I drove here from Birmingham, I drove by the same school in the same community, Smith Station, and that same Alabama red clay that's in all of your veins. Alabama red clay. I can promise you I had no idea where life was going to take me. I wasn't the smartest, I wasn't the cutest, but I was curious and I was willing to work hard. And that turned out to be enough. My family and I lived in a trailer on a dirt road in the field right next to Concord Baptist Church. We did not have a telephone. We did not have air conditioning. We did not have much money. But my daddy was a minister, and he was traveling in evangelism, and my little mom was raising me and my brother on her own while he did God's work. It's hard to be upset with God when he tells your dad he has to go somewhere. But I watched her in that Alabama soil. I watched her plant seeds to grow the food that we were going to eat. I watched her sew her own clothes, and I watched her stretch every dollar. We soon moved to a house in Cowdallen subdivision that, although it was brick, we didn't have enough money to run the air conditioner or run the heater. We heated with a kerosene heater. And I don't tell you this for you to feel sorry for me. I want to tell you that those struggles helped me to be who I am today. When Mr. Tomlin asked me to be your commencement speaker, and he will tell you that I kept him out of jail in high school. There you go. That's another story. I wasn't sure what I could share with you, but coming from Alabama, this town, Smith Station, where you come from, it's special. And I'm going to give you some advice. I want to tell you your ABCs, those first 3 letters that you learned in school. Social media and others will tell you that you are anxious, that you're broken, that you're COVID kids, that you can't quite catch up. And that's not true. You are able, you are brave, and you're chosen. I'm a woman of faith. I think you were chosen by God. Not everyone may agree with me. This is my opinion. What I want you to do is maybe take those ABCs and activate your ability and build your personal board of directors, a group of people who can advise you. You don't know everything. And then you're chosen, and you need to choose to carry that clay, the other C word, with you. This is your home. Be proud of it. It's made you who you are. But being able to activate your ability doesn't mean anything unless you use it. You can't be afraid of failure. We spend so much time trying to avoid failure, but actually, it's the failures that help you climb. Life is not a paved road. It's a dirt road, like I grew up on. It has ruts. It has bumps. Sometimes it washes out completely. And if you want to climb a mountain, mountains aren't smooth. Mountains have these jagged rocks. Mountains have these bumps, and that's what you climb on. That's what you put your hands on. That's what you cut your feet on to climb to the top. If it was slick, it would be easy. Life's not easy. You have to have something to grab onto. When the tough times hit, you have to know to have grit. Show up early, stay late, be strong. I learned that before I went to Washington. I learned that at a pond in Bleecker, Miss Cogdell's Pond. My daddy would stop at the corner store and get a can of Vienna sausages, some saltines, some sardines, and mustard, and we'd carry off to the pond. And what he did is we had our cane poles, and he had this red and white bobber on both of our cane poles. And he didn't bait my hook. He didn't bait my hook. He showed me how to fish. He told me how to be patient and how to be still and watch that little red bobber. You can't do everything fast. We had to learn patience. That red bobber sits on my daddy's grave to this day. That's what reminds me of him. No one's going to bait your hook for you, and if you're going to wait for someone to rescue you, you're going to be waiting a long time. So you need to learn how to bait your own hook. Parents, you need to let them bait their own hooks. Don't look for the easy way out. How did that ability work for me? I started out as a secretary, as the principal said. I filed papers and I answered phones, but I had a boss who saw something in me that I did not see in myself. He saw that I had the ability, and I was trying to be bold and brave, and I had a confidence, and that confidence came from the teachers who poured into me at this school, telling me that I can do things that I didn't think I could. Within a year, he moved me into a role as a lobbyist, which is just working with members of Congress and advocating a position. After 2 years, I was running the Government Affairs Office, but I've never had a predecessor. I've never had a roadmap. I didn't have a rule book. And I had to look to people who knew what they were doing because I did not know what I was doing. I suggest that you have an idea of people who you could surround yourself with. So the little girl from the dirt road, I always pinch myself because I've worked with presidents. I've been in the room with every president since George Bush. I've sat next to presidents and members. All of them have a different personality. I didn't agree with all of them. And Donald Trump, he's a tough one for me to deal with. I'm not going to lie. Those things and the confidence that allow me to sit in a room with those presidents and senators, it came from here. This came from Smith Station. This came from Alabama red clay. You need to build your board of directors. You need a board of advisors. Someone, look around you other than your family, someone who lives well, someone who thinks well, someone who can do love well, someone who's calm. And my first board of director was Ann Henderson. She was my next door neighbor, and she worked at Aflac. And she called me in and said, "I'd like for you to come work part-time." And I watched her as a woman. She ran the show. And seeing, if you can see it, you can be it. Having strong teachers, male, female, you can see if you surround yourself with people. If you can see it, you can be that. I also had an aunt and uncle who had a great loving relationship, and it was something that I could watch, and they cherished each other, and they were very committed, and I found that in my husband, Mike, and he can't be here today, and it makes me very sad. But he's my rock. He's my best friend. He's my confidant. Look for someone in love who is going to make you better and make you stronger. And we don't agree on everything. I'm a Republican. He's a moderate Democrat. It's as simple as this. He likes vanilla, and I like chocolate. That's really it. Now, sometimes he gets out there with his views, and I call those sprinkles on his chocolate. And I love my husband. But what I'm trying to say is I'm not trying to convince him or anyone else that he's wrong for liking vanilla. You want to find someone that you can love, that you can be united with, and move forward with them. You need to learn how to disagree in love. I had someone who loved life, and that was Mr. Guthrie. This was a man with 4 fingers, 8 teeth, 17 children, and he was the janitor in the first apartment building I lived in D.C. and he was smiling all the time. He was happy all the time. And I asked him, how can you be happy? Your truck broke down, you're riding a bike to work. He said, I have a roof over my head. I have all my children near me. And God put me here to make people smile. And I thought, if he could do that, why can't I? The other thing to do with your board when you can find them, and anyone who wants to give you advice, including me standing here, take what you need. You don't have to take everything. If you walk into Terry's Grocery, you walk into the Piggly Wiggly, you may not need to go in the gluten-free section. You may not need to go into the international section and buy tacos. You may just need to go in and get some milk. Just take what you need. Don't take everything that someone gives you. Now, for me, I go in for a moon pie and a Yoo-hoo. The last one is that you're chosen. You're here for a purpose. You're not here by accident. You're not here at random. You're not here as an afterthought. You were placed here in this community. You were placed here in this school. You were placed here in this time for a reason. Now, listen carefully. Being chosen doesn't mean that life is easy. Life is hard. Being chosen doesn't mean that it opens every door. It doesn't mean that you won't fail. You will fail. Fail forward. It doesn't mean that you won't struggle. But being chosen means that you have something to do. You need to make a difference. You have a calling that you need to answer. And you may not fully understand your purpose for a long time. I did not. I thought I was going to be a missionary nurse. I thought I was going to be a teacher, walking in the steps of Helen Johnson, my teacher who I adored. I thought I would work in an embassy in the Middle East. None of that happened, but every step mattered. Every job I had mattered. Every wrong turn mattered, and it prepared me for what I do today. Purpose is not a straight line. Purpose is a process. It unfolds over time through your experiences and your failures. So don't panic if you don't have it all figured out. You're not supposed to. And your job right now is not to know everything. It's to be curious. It's to work hard. It's to stay open to new things, to keep going. And trust that God's working it out even if you can't see it. But I stand here today to tell you that there were moments in my life that I could not figure things out. They didn't make sense. There were decisions that I questioned. There were doors that were closed. There were paths that were changed. But looking back, I could see God's hand in all of them, in the mistakes and in the failures. Because purpose is not about perfection. It's about direction. If you just keep going. When you don't know what to do, do the next right thing. When you don't know where you're going, take that next step. When you feel lost, lean into your faith. Lean into your personal board of advisors. Find those people out there. Ask them if they would give you advice, but don't ask them to tell you what to do. The last thing, you're going to look back one day and you're going to see you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Your clay, this clay that I'm talking about, this Alabama red clay, is not an easy soil. It's dense, it's stubborn, and it demands something from you. The roots of a plant have a hard time growing in this soil, but they grow stronger. Not all of you had easy soil. Some of you have already walked through things that you shouldn't have, or maybe that others have and you haven't. Maybe your family doesn't look the way you hoped it would. Maybe your parents aren't together. Maybe there's tension at home. Maybe there's struggles that you can't talk about. Maybe money's been tight. Maybe you've had to grow up a little faster than you had hoped. And that's real. And I'm not going to stand here You are strong. You are courageous. Just because your soil wasn't easy, in fact, this Alabama red clay is going to make you stronger. Red clay is not easy soil. It is dense, it is stubborn, it holds tight. Your roots don't just grow, they have to fight their way through. My roots are deep. Your roots are deep. They're going to hold you when the storm comes, and you're going to have storms. Don't look at your life that you think you're behind. Don't compare it to someone else's. You have been growing in something different than anyone else. You have been growing in Smith Station, Alabama red clay. I used to swim in the Chattahoochee River. I would come out in an orange t-shirt. Principal Johnson said that they wanted to change your colors to black and white and teal. It's not teal. It's Alabama red clay. The reason it's red is the amount of iron. You have strength and you have steel. So I will say to you graduates, it stains. You are able, you're brave, you are chosen. There's red clay in your vein that's hard to crack. That stain will be with you forever. Go and see the world. The world might be in Birmingham or Atlanta. Go as far as you can and learn and take it in. But don't forget, you can always come home. Congratulations, graduates.
Welcome to the graduation of the class of 2026. I'd like to thank you all who are in attendance today for coming to show your love and support. I'd like to extend an immense amount of gratitude to all the families and friends who have stood with us as we've raced to this finish line. I'd also like to thank all Smith Station High School faculty and Lee County staff for providing us a wonderful K-12 education. And lastly, I'd like to personally thank my peers. Without having you all to learn and grow with and to compete against, I would not be the young man I am today. Just making it here today was a wonderful accomplishment for us all. And we have all done great things throughout our high school career. But as we transition into what is going to be a very important and transformative stage in our lives, we must not be content and we cannot become complacent. Whether we're moving into college, trade school, or straight into our careers, we must keep pushing forward. And here are some things I think we should all consider as we go along our way. First, we must attack every day with a positive attitude and to continue to strive for success. Second, we must remember to keep an open mind and to learn from all of our experiences. And last, we cannot forget to have fun and make friends along the way. Graduates, I'd like to remind you one last time that we are great people, and we've done many great things, yet there are still more great things for us to do. Good luck, and God bless.
Good evening. My name is Mahaley Davis, and I am salutatorian for the class of 2026. Firstly, I believe we all owe a debt of gratitude to our families and supporters for helping us reach this milestone. Personally, I would love to thank my parents and grandparents for their endless support, and my sister Shelby for being my greatest inspiration. Our faculty and staff additionally pushed us to be our best selves, so they also deserve an endless amount of appreciation this evening. Tonight, I'd like to share an excerpt from my favorite novel, Fahrenheit 451, written by Ray Bradbury. This novel, published in 1953, follows Guy Montag's journey escaping a society that has banned books completely. Along the way, Montag picks up the book of Ecclesiastes and meets a group of outlaws outside the city. One says to him, "Walk carefully, guard your health. If anything should happen to Harris, you are the book of Ecclesiastes. We are all bits and pieces of history and literature and international law. Byron, Tom Paine, Machiavelli, or Christ, it's here." While this dystopian society is different from the one we live in today, one thing is true. We are bits and pieces of everything we have ever read, watched, or witnessed. Even if we feel like we've forgotten something, the parts of life experienced are always affecting us. Our choices, thoughts, and feelings can be traced back to our journey through life. Together, we should take our experiences and use them to our advantage. Remember our mistakes to turn them into successes. Finally, consume information for our own benefit. Live our lives knowing that experiences are ours to keep, and be proud of who we are because of them. Ad astra per aspera, class of 2026, meaning to the stars through difficulties. The whole world can't wait to see what you do next. Thank you.
Good evening. For those who don't know me, my name is Ethan Neela, and for my entire life, I've had a fascination with aviation. I've always loved the idea of being in control of a machine, going close to the speed of sound, and pulling off some gravity-defying maneuvers. Unfortunately, this academic year, my flight plan did not go as planned. Last semester, I got rejected from military aviation for a shellfish allergy of all things, and thus, I discontinued my pursuit of the Air Force. This semester, I got rejected from Auburn University School of Aviation. Twice. Within the same year, the two main ways that I could accomplish my dreams vanished. However, one thing you learn very quickly as a pilot is that almost all of aviation is centered around failure and safety. Most commonly, when a landing doesn't feel right, pilots can go back into the sky into something called a traffic pattern. This is basically a roundabout in the sky where if you miss your exit, you simply go back around until you reach it again. Now, I'm saying all this to say, in life, we're going to mess up. We may fail to effectively plan for something or encounter something we couldn't have possibly predicted, just like a pilot could. For me, the two plans I had for my future failed, and I was at that point unsure aviation would even be in my future anymore. Nonetheless, I re-entered the traffic pattern of life, tried to land just one more time, and in all thanks to the 20 years my father served in the U.S. Army, I was able to receive funding to begin flight training on my own in Auburn. I would have loved nothing more than for my original plans to pull through. But life threw the unexpected at me, and I had to give myself the chance to adapt. So, as we leave here today, just know, a good landing is one you can walk away from. Don't always expect yourself to land on the first attempt. And don't beat yourself up if your landing was not the smoothest it could be. What matters is this: you made it. And today, we celebrate a major landing after many years of being in the traffic pattern of life. It may not have always been easy, but we walk away today successful in anticipation of the next flight we have towards our futures. None of us know what life may throw at us after today. It may give us a gusting crosswind on our next attempt to land, or it may be more graceful and let us get along just fine. But if there's one thing I've learned this year, it's this: a failed landing does not mean the flight is over. It just means we have to re-enter the pattern and try again. Congratulations, class of 2026. Farewell and Godspeed to you all. Thank you.
Before we get started, I just want to let this group know how much of an honor and a privilege it has been to serve as your assistant principal this year. And I told this group yesterday during graduation practice that they are a part of something very huge this year. This group should be very proud that we have a 97% graduation rate and no one is being left behind. To ensure every graduate and family can clearly hear each name announced, we respectfully ask that guests hold applause until the entire row of graduates has been recognized. Ethan Benjamin Neela. Mahaley Grace Davis. Xerxes Christian Ellison. Alana Amika Uferi. Michaela Cadence Bowling. Ryan Mackenzie Barr. Hayden Brooke Nicole Suggs. Mackenzie Faith Lester. Christian Blake Miller. Connor Jackson Napier. John Henry Clark. Cadence Elizabeth Danford. Quentin J. Dixon. Joshua Anthony Rudolph. Avery Brooke Adams. Braden Allen Adams. Dulce Maria Alcantara. Amari Dion Allen. Y'all are about to get suspended. Lily Ryan Allred. Janasia Nakila Anderson. Nathaniel Lewis Anderson. Jada Jakayla Armstrong. Genesis Luceri Arnold. Jonathan Michael Ascott. Savannah Nicole Averett. Cynthia Bell Bailey. Colton Curtis Bailey. Austin James Baker. Samuel Troy Baker. Christopher Scott Ballard. Samuel James Bamberger. Justin Michael Barnhill. Nazaria Denise Barneswell. Emily Kate Barr. Abigail Marie Baxley. Hudson Eugene Ballou. Joshua Alexander Bell. Anaria Simone Bellamy. Madeline Isabel Belvin. Shantasia Bimbo. Jeremiah Austin Black. Kaylee Nicole Bowling. Mikhail Shundell Bonner. Kayla Ann Booker. Peyton Nicole Booker. Abigail Kristen Boswell. Riley Nathaniel Bowles. Jacob Bozeman. Carter Jonathan Bradford. Gabrielle Audrey Brannon. Cage Samuel Brady. Sarah Ruth Britton. Bailey Ann Broadwater. Hunter Chase Brown. Nalina Cormia Brown. Zactarius Kataka Brown. Dominic Romeo Bruck. Monica Nevaeh Bunker. Christian Freedom Bonapane. Brody Hayes Bussey. Jasmine Bustillos. Nino Enrique Butcher. Zachary Brian Buxer. Dallas Xavier Campbell. Hannah Mae Camper. Azaria Zante Denise Cannon. Kyler Ray Carden. Sarah Bessie Carter. Brock Anthony Castile. Emma Grace Cato. Donzion Kamori Chapman. Brooklyn Marie Cheney. Haley Marie Sicarello. Gianni Antonio Clark. Tristan Tavoris Clyett. Caden Lamarcus Cochran. Brandon Jernigan Coker. Ethan Scott Coker. Abigail Aline Collins. Nathan Joel Collins. Landon Gary Caldwell. Alana Jamise Cook. McKinley Grace Cook. Marley Ann Cook. Rebecca Lynn Cooper. Alexis Ann Core. Dakaya Sierra Core. Joseph Cordero Core. Aiden Trent Cox. Hannah Love Craig. Dylan Heath Crisp. Madeline Juliet Cruz. Exala Joyce Veronica Davis. Olivia Jean DePietro. Nathaniel Ramon Diaz. Noah Manuel Diaz. Alexander Bryce Dickerson. Zoe Victoria Dill. Malina Sarai Dodge. Michaela Christina Dubovecki. Zareya Alon Dudley. Jamari Erskine Duncan. Isabel Rose Eccles. Michael Curtarius Edmond. John Pratt Elledge. Caitlin Grace Elsey. Phoenix Ariel Insignes. Evan Richard Harvey Ennis. Nialise Espinoza Nieves. Ian Nathaniel Ezzard. Jomar Alberto Fernandez Quinones. Shania Alana Fields. Connor Allen Finley. Kendrick Jarrell Finley. Spencer Charles Fiorello. Madeline Grace Fleming. Leah Amarie Frazier. Logan James Frymoyer. Amira Lene Fulcher. Michael Connor Fuller. Tyandra Laura Fuller. Brandon Scott Fulmer. Aiden Joseph Galloway. Madison Garrett. Olivia Lynette Gathers. Stephanie Nicole Gilbert. Emma Grace Gilmore. Amelia Brianna Glass. Stephanie Gonzalez. Rashawn Martez Goods. Taylor Gore. Mariah Lachey Gray. James Andrew Green. Caden Rain Green. Aubrey Nicole Griffin. Cadence Jewel Griffin. Addison Bailey Griffiths. Kinsley Lane Groves. Sarah Tess Hamilton. Chloe Brooke Hammock. Lydia Anna Marie Harge. Antonio DeMonquel Hargrove Jr. Shantae Harvin. Derek Wellington Halton Jr. Albert Riley Henry. Richard Lewis Hewitt. Anna Grace Holland. Audrey Jane Holmes. Brianna Paige Holmes. Kinley Russell Hoover. Jacob Eric Clay Horn. Addison Elizabeth Horn. Braxton Alexander Howard. Nicolette Valentine Howell. Christopher Saya Hudson. Jordan Allen Hughes. Brooke Savannah Hughley. Kylie Rebecca Hurst. Martin Ingram. Brandon James Jackson. Timothy Arkell Jackson. Gabriella Marie Jacobs. Ethan Paul Jarman. Matthew Bryce Jennings. Chloe Nicole Johnson. David Josiah Johnson. Talik Scott Johnson. Whitley Jade Johnson. Melena Fallon Johnston. Aubrey Emma Jones. Haley Deidre Jones. Jacob Layton Youngins. Zachariah Cameron Kinney. King Paul Kerr. Zayla Annabella Kilgore. David Allen King. Donovan Nathaniel Kitchens. Adam Carson Kroll. Davion Kavorji Lamb Leonard. Marisol Lenderos. Kennedy Page Lanston. Katie Kareen Lee. McKenna Leilani Leverett. Amanda Marie Lindley. Ashlyn Maretta Linton. Dakota Lane Little. Olivia Simone Madden. Bailey Porter McGaw. Josiah Trey Kane Mahogany. Tyler Adam Marler. Carlos Martinez. Jaden Emmanuel Martinez. Dakota Harley Mason. Michael Paul Mathis. William Brighton McLean Schaff. Ezra Brianne McClellan. Kinley Joyce McConnell. Jacob Daniel McCoy. Trinity Faith McDade. Savannah Sue McGinnis. Randall Luke McGuire. Jason Adam McManus. Miles Emil McMiller. Alyssa Faith McSpadden. Molly Kate Medlock. Jaden Christopher Melvin. Nora Teresa Valentina Mendez. Dustin Cole Merritt. Christasha Sanaya Miles. Julian Anthony Miller. James Alexander Mills. Jamon Alexander Mills. Aubrey Elizabeth Minton. Corbin Nicole Misseldine. Landon Aniba Mitchell. Mariah Taylor Mitchell. Soraya Noel Mitchell. Evan Anthony Mixon. Ethan Brandon Munka. Bryce Logan Mon. William Tanner Moody. Evan Lee Moore. Jaden Riley Cruz Moore. Giselle Azariah Morgan. Destiny Ann Morin. Connor Alexander Moss. Matthew Clay Modern. Ryder Lee Muncie. Christopher Michael Namoli. Aiden Michael Nash. Bryson Thomas Nash. Colby Ryan Nash. Jacob Taylor Newman. Nicholas Daniel Nieves. Rylan Sierra Norris. Jorge Luis Nunez Chavez. Abigail Grace Osteen. Kyra Michelle Oxley. Sarah Lynn Maria Page. Elizabeth Caroline Parkman. Chloe Monroe Perry. Timothy Allen Pearson. Michaela Sinkay Pennington. Cameron Troy Peters. Kayla Janae Peters. John Hagan Phillip. Danielle Elise Phillips. Jamie Michelle Cecily Phillips. Jayla Monet Phillips. Abby Alexis Pike. Angel Marie Pippin. Lila Suzanne Poole. Joseph Lee Patenza. Morgan Lillian Purdy. Landon James Radcliffe. Riley Ann Randall. Emma Gail Rice. Kennedy Bree Richardson. Garrett B. Riffle. Emerson Robertson. Ariana Jamie Robinson. Zykeria Marche Rogers. Grayson Lane Romaine. Hunter Tyler Royal. Alyssa Cheyenne Sanders. Kaylee Brooke Sanders. Madison Brooke Sanders. Joel Santiago Vasquez. Daniel Luke Savage. Trinity Elizabeth Shimmer. John Edward Schmidt. Hannah Carolyn Scroggins. Keegan A.J. McKibben Shaw. Zachariah Joseph Schleback. Robert Charles Schaffler. Jordan Grace Smith. Rylan Nicole Smith. Timothy Alton Smith. Zachary Ian Smith. Riley David Snyder. Brooklyn Victoria Sports. Trevor Owen Staffney. Rory Lee Stedman. Brendan Keith Stender. Zykeria Nicole Stokes. Colby Aiden Strickland. Kaylin Maya Summers. Leonie Isabel Sutliff. Braden Austin Tanner. Nathan Bennett Tate. John G. Taylor. Addison Mallory Tharp. Adriana Cheyenne Thomas. Braden James Thompson. Havitt. Carly Adele Thompson. Clayton Wade Tidwell. Talina Ann Torres. Walter Dejan Torreson. Michael Destry Treadway. Kamani Marley Tucker. Gabriel Ross Tyner. Hayden Elizabeth Vaughn. Abigail Grace Venable. Jaden Carl Vodnikar. Breland Taylor Walker. Hunter Allen Waltman. Jason William Ward. Zachary Taylor Ward. Cohen McLeod Watkins. Levi Cade Watson. Michael Ryan Watson. Summer Star Watson. Imari Nadea Webb. Clayton Tiger Webster. Michaela Isabella Weeks. English Sky Werner. Nehemiah Dwayne West. Braden Mitchell Whale. Braxton Cole White. Weston Ryan White. Aaron Dakota Whitener. Adam Cole Wilborn. Alicia Brianna Williams. Kirsten Reese Williams. Tavian Contrell Williams. Trinity Chantel Williams. Deja Renee Wilson. Jaden Jacob Wilson. Savannah Faith Amber Wilson. Brianna Nicole Wimberly. Melanie Ann Womack. Cameron James Wood. Caden Bryce Woodham. Taryn Marley Woodham. Callie Star Nicole Wright. Tayana Louise Wright. Abigail Wyatt. Landon Joel Wynn. Holden James Young. Tristan Jaden Youngblood. Trace Martin Zay.
Please stand for the singing of our alma mater.
Within these halls of learning every day, your wisdom shines to guide us on life's way. Honor and truth will help us all through life. We'll love you ever, Smith Station High. We pledge to live as men who stand for right. Women of honor who will share the light. Faith in our past and futures that are bright. We'll love you ever, Smith Station High. We're going.
Before we turn our tassels, I'd like to say a few things. Graduates, if you have a decorated cap, please put it on. In this final act of civic disobedience, I'd like this to set an example for all those in attendance, graduates and audience alike. As we go forward into this world that is entering increasingly trying times, it is important to remember that you have a voice, and it is as your civil duty to use that voice to speak out when you see something you believe to be unfair or unjust. And with that, graduates, turn your tassels. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to introduce you to
We're always going a million different directions.
But Kinetic Credit Union makes it easy for all of us to stay connected, all in one place.
With the Kinetic mobile app, we both can monitor our accounts on the go. We can create account alerts so we know when there's a change. Apply for a loan or credit card. We can even open a new account.
Plus, you can quickly pay bills, transfer money, or make a deposit anytime, anywhere.
Kinetic makes our life a whole lot easier.
Kinetic Credit Union, the energy for your dreams.